G'day, I'm Mark from Tasmanian Off-Road Adventures. This is another 4x4 and camping gear review video, and today I'm reviewing the Ridge Ryder Recovery Tracks from Supercheap Auto, which is there. The other one is down there. I just used these on the weekend and I actually haven't got around to cleaning them, so yeah, I'll do that later. Now, recovery tracks. Now, clearly most, if not all, recovery tracks on the market some sort of variation on the original, which is the Maxtrax, and this is no different. It's basically, I wouldn't say it's a copy, but it's certainly along the same theme as the Maxtrax. Difference for these ones is that they're not as big. They're a little bit more compact than the Maxtrax. So they're 980 or 98 centimetres long, 28.5 centimetres wide. So the Maxtrax is about 27 centimetres taller or longer, and about 5 centimetres wider, so they are relatively small. They're very light. They only come in grey. They retail for $165, but I have seen them closer down around the $100 mark. $165, I think the Maxtrax might be more like $300, so they are pretty cheap compared to the Maxtrax. And when they're on special, they're a fraction of the price, like I said, down around that $100 mark. Now, I've owned these for about a year, and they've worked really well. Some of the little knob bits on them are sort of almost melted, scraped away. Now, you are meant to spin your tyres when you're using these, but sometimes when you're on the tracks and you're stuck, you can't really help it. So the idea is not to spin. I'm not going to go into exactly how you're meant to use these, because there's probably 1,000 other videos on YouTube that will show you how to use these and what to do and what not to do with them. They do come with these nice lanyards, which I clearly have never taken out of the bag and attached. I probably should probably still should, but I just haven't done it. So they do come with those. Positives for me is that if you can buy these, even at $165, I think they're really good value, but if you can get them cheaper than that, then even better. They work really well. On a recent trip, as I said, I've owned these for 12 months. I actually used them a fair bit. And on the last full drive tag along tour I did down the west coast, we had one particular section of clay track that was a bit nasty, bit of a side angle, very, very slippery. And just to add a bit of traction, I actually put both of these tracks down in the lower side in the ruts. So we literally had 10 vehicles driving over them and spinning their wheels to get through this rut. So, and after that, apart from the odd knob that sort of started to break away, but when I say break away, it's not really, it's just sort of the tops that come off, and there's a couple of little melted ones there. They've worked really well. As I said, we had 10 vehicles driving over them. To be honest with you, I thought they might break with that many vehicles going over them, but they didn't. They did their job and got everyone through this nasty piece of rut. I've had these on the top of the Hilux, on the roof rack of the Hilux for 12 months, and they haven't faded. So I have seen some other cheaper sort of Maxtrax style recovery boards, if you like. I've seen them on roof racks, and I've seen that they've actually discoloured. So, you know, you can buy the red ones and they're almost pink after, I don't know how long they've been on there, but these have not changed colour at all. So I know there is a bit of a question mark on some of the cheaper versions of whether or not they are UV stable, and I don't know if this is UV stable or not, but what I do know is after 12 months it hasn't faded in colour. I really like these. They've worked really well. I was a bit dubious when I got them. I thought, you know, a bit cheap, could be a bit nasty, but they're not. They've worked absolutely perfectly. So I really like them. The only negative I can think of, which may or may not be a negative, might be a positive, is that they are a smaller size than the Maxtrax. So that was one thing. When I picked them up, I thought, oh, geez, they look a bit small, but I said they've done everything I've wanted them to do. Maybe if you've got a bigger rig, you might want some bigger ones, but I'd be quite happy to chuck these on the old cruiser and take them around as well. So all in all, these have worked really well for me, and I highly recommend them. Thanks very much for watching this review video, and keep an eye out for the next 4x4 and camping gear review with Tasmanian Off-Road Adventures.